Hey yo, how's it going everyone? Entropy here today with another video. Finally, I haven't been uploading for the last few days. I've been just busy with life. As you can see from behind me, I'm at a different set. Just moved into my new apartment, done with the quarantine, had to deal with this and that. So still have to go back to the 200 subscribers challenge. We are not done with the deck yet, so if you haven't, please do comment down below as suggestion. And I guess without further ado, let's begin with today's video. Today I just want to talk about briefly my ranked experience, climbing for top 10, currently fighting for top 4, just trying to make it to top 3 once, just to experience how that way of playing the game would be. And honestly, it's quite difficult. And the metagame is slightly different for ladder and tournament play, so that's something I want to talk about. So yeah, I mean, just as of right now, on the 9th of September, I am 4th at Legend 64, 60 points. There's 6 days left in the season, since it is a two-week season, and I am 4th, just right behind Dragon Ice, and 10 ranks above Mordred on 5th. And my personal best was 2nd. I've been constantly fighting for 2nd and 3rd over the last few days. My personal best was on the 5th day of the season. Still a big margin, 30 legend ranks, away from 1st, but a comfortable margin of 3 legend ranks above 3rd. And I just want to say, personally, I did not expect to do this kind of grind. I am, moving out, I'm moving in, organizing this, selling life stuff. Just moved back to Toronto, so didn't expect to do well so early in the season, and incentivized me to keep going. It is really tiring, it really is, and some of it is really unrealistic. Like if I wanted to go for 1st, right? Like still as of right now, 1st place is 30 legend ranks above a 2nd, and that's pretty insane. Like how do you do that? I'm not gonna make any baseless theories, because I just don't know these people, but what I can say is that it's honestly really hard. And I know I did chat with Dragon Ice. He's on Discord, and Dragon Ice just does this constantly, and I have so much respect for him or her, and just letting you know that the grind really isn't easy, and top 4 is really competitive. Like me, Dragon Ice, and someone else, I believe. I just the name just slipped out of my mind, but we've been fighting like tooth and nail for like 2-3 legend ranks. I wake up and I'm like behind, and then I fight for it, and then they wake up and then they catch up. It's really intense. Not very fun for me as I've been busy, but definitely it's a refreshing taste of having to keep myself going on and on. But anyways, so I guess my best was 2nd. Currently I'm 4th, comfortable margin. I think I can still float towards the finish line. Probably top 10ish, and hopefully maybe I'll get top 3. So yeah, I mean, this is the September season. We're on the 9th. It ends on the 15th, so we have 6 days left. Not much to do recently. No clan events, not many tournaments that I'm interested in. So ranked is a unique experience. My personal best previously was like 49th in the Perfect Riser season, and if you do want to check out what I've been doing back then, do check that out. Rank honestly has gone a lot better. You get banners for top 3K, top 1K, top 500, rather than just top 100 for those exclusive banners. Those little tag names, name tags. And then you also get, 1 SP copy of the rank reward at top 3K, top 1K, and then 2 copies at top 100 as usual, 3 copies at top 10, and then 4 copies at top 3. And that usually is pretty sick. So I do want to get an extra copy at 4 copies instead of 3. But honestly, you already get 4 triple rares when you get to Legend 50, so any SPs is just aesthetic purposes. But I do see why people chase for it. If it's your favorite clan, your favorite card, you definitely might want to compete for that. Definitely, with the top 3K requirement, I see a lot more casual players coming back. A lot of newer players as well playing trial deck plus stuff. The Royal Paladin or Kagero stuff quite popular. Of course, they're quite underwhelming at this point of the game, but it's still really nice to see and really refreshing to see new players try to stumble upon and make a few mistakes here and there. But you know these are new players, and it's hopeful for the future of the game, definitely. And again, the grind really isn't fun. On average, I'm playing 10-ish hours a day. On a good day, and I still have work, I still have school, and I still have other things to do, commitments in life. My computer currently has a technical problem, so I do have to deal with that as well. But yeah, like playing 7-ish, 10-ish hour a day, playing the same deck nonstop is just gonna make you really, really tired. And I even made a few posts here and there saying like, oh, on my fifth day I already felt burnout. And I never felt this way about the game for a long time, because I've been enjoying making content, I've been enjoying doing tournaments, enjoying interacting with people in the community, just talking about it, playing casually. Getting top 1K is like easy, but getting top 100, top 10, that's when it gets insane. When you have to spend so much time in the game, can't focus. Definitely really, really hard, but really rewarding, because you get to understand what it means to play at that level. When people are telling you, okay, we're gonna play 24 hours straight and get 6 hours sleep, I'm like, what the hell? How do you even do that? But apparently that's the way to go. And there's the old metagame before the ladder system, I suppose. So I guess people are really interested, and people keep asking me, what am I playing? So I'll tell you about my first 9 days of rank, what I've been playing with, and definitely I've been switching it up here and there, depending on what I'm seeing, how I feel. So yeah, I started with playing Bermuda, the deck that I did my deck profile on. I made a few changes here and there. I added more self-damagers because I saw more crit pressure decks on ladder, a lot more MLB recently, definitely, Perfect Riser as well. And so you do want to proc your Limit Break and activate your corals to plus earlier. So definitely splashed in like 1 or 2 or 3 self-damagers to help enable that. Bermuda is honestly really solid. Definitely I 100% suggest playing the Pearl Sisters. Some people say Pearl Sisters help you deck out, or Pearl Sisters, you don't need Pearl Sisters because Coral is so consistent. But especially if you're playing like stands or something, like if you're not drawing into units that can actually build columns, then your stands are essentially useless. You really do need the Pearl Sisters to help you draw pieces and set up your board properly. So, play Pearl Sisters or not, I guess what I can say is that it is still possible to play it without the Pearl Sisters. But if you're not playing with the Pearl Sisters, you're not gonna play at a good enough level to compete against other decks. Is what I'll say, definitely. So for the second decks, when I get tired of playing new decks, I really want to go play something I'm comfortable with. I'm very comfortable with playing Spike Withers and Shadow Paladins. Shadow Paladins is my main deck. I haven't changed this list forever, because it just wins games, definitely. Something I've been seeing on Facebook recently was I put draws on my cards because I draw into them often. That's confirmation bias. So if you're not familiar with the term confirmation bias, it's when you have a bias towards something that keeps happening, because you're like, oh, every single time I play card, I'll draw into it. And because your brain checks for that, rather than every single time I put my heal on PBD, I'll draw into it. Technically, the probability of getting it is the same, right? It's a grade 3, and sure, you might, if you put the draw on your card, you might prefer mulliganing into it. I don't know, but if you what other heal targets do you have? PBO, PBD. If you put heal on PBD and you play the full battle right chain, it means if you do search for PBD with the Javelin, then you're discarding your grade 3 to search for a heal and add it to your hand. That's not good. If you're doing PBO, you need Persona Blast and you need to Persona Blast to heal. That's not good. Car is the car as a card. Definitely, if you had other triggers on it, other great cards in the deck playable, definitely could assign the heal trigger on something else. But as of right now, the Shadow Paladin lineup is just so solid, and Car as a heal, what it means is if you do draw into it, at least you can +1 out of it as a rearguard, and you can activate your PBD, you can activate your PBO with less of a heavy cost. Car supplements the deck and does what it needs to do. It's not something you want to mulligan into necessarily. And then I play a decent amount of Spike Brothers, and I honestly feel like Spike Brothers isn't doing that well in this meta because there are more aggressive multi-attacking clans and a lot of crit pressure. So crit pressure, traditionally it isn't really doing well against them anyways. Perfect Riser and MLB. A lot of people, who are watching this video, I'm sure, that Perfect Riser does well against this deck. And yes, you might get that one turn of Limit Break, but sometimes you just brick and you just don't get your pieces, and they get PGs and they stall out the game and you just lose. You can't do anything. And then against Aquaforce and Great Nature, these clans can multi-attack and they just break through your cards too fast. You don't have the time to set up your board, especially Aquaforce. Maelstrom procs your back row, so then even your multi-attacking 5 attack a turn with the Dudley Emperor might not even connect to your opponent's Vanguard enough. You don't have retire options to retire the Diamantes or the Basil that sneaks into the back row, so definitely weak against that matchup, and it's really popular right now, so definitely having a hard time with it, so I'm playing less of it. So yeah, so then, generally speaking, I was moving forward with these 3 clans. Did particularly well with Bermuda, probably because people aren't familiar with it and people don't see it with crits often, since it isn't the popular approach to the deck. So yeah, I mean, I did pretty well into it. I got to see Legend 12 on the first day, and then every day was about 10-ish Legends. It was easier in the earlier phase because you get more points per win than a loss, right? You get plus 30 or plus 25 and per win, and minus 20 and minus 20 per loss between Legend 0 and Legend 10 and Legend 10 to Legend 20 respectively. After Legend 20, it's 20 points per win and 20 points per loss, which means you do need essentially a 5 win streak to rank up, and it makes it a lot more difficult, and it means that you have to play a lot more games to rank up consistently. So I played less high roll stuff like Bermuda. You really do need to hit your crits in the right times to make the deck work. And Spike Brothers, which gets denied way too often in this metagame. And so I shifted into playing some Great Nature and some Royal Paladin. And Great Nature, it's incomplete, definitely. If you can see the list, it's not the list I want to play, definitely not, because I did not roll on set 5, the Asia Circuit set. It means that I'm missing the Compass Lions, I'm missing the Tigers. So definitely not the most optimal deck. I have the right grade 3 lineup. I'm comfortable with. The grade 1 lineup is also comfortable with, but the grade 2 lineup is definitely not. I'm playing Zebras just because I want to find a way to plus aggressively, and I have no other choice other than the Zebra or the Self-Damager. And I feel like Great Nature pluses enough that I don't need to rely on Limit Break 4 necessarily to push my opponent. I can still play a Zebra, I can still collect my pieces, I can still proc my Hamuskes, fill up the board really early game, smash face, and then when the opponent gives us Limit Break 4, then we can still seal the game off. Definitely not the list I would recommend. That's why I'm not making a video. Every single deck profile I make is a list that I've tested for a decent amount of time, I'd say, and I know can win games. Like, this list is comfortable, it's fun, but in most people's hands, it won't win games. Definitely not. Shadow is just comfortable with. I really like shadows. So yeah. And then for MLB, it's because I really want to win, and I don't have fun with it. I really don't have fun with it. Like, if you face it, you don't have fun with it. If you play it, you don't have fun with it. It's just collect your pieces, brain dead, and then win game, right? Like, if you don't get your pieces, you lose. Sometimes you ride Alfred and it's more exciting, but generally speaking, if you ride Alfred, you lose. You get MLB, you win. Like, it's just that simple. And the reason why I have to play it is because currently in the last few days, people are just so aggressive with the ladder. They're pushing so hard. Most people are playing MLB or Aquaforce, and MLB does have a really great matchup against the Limit Break decks, denying them Limit Break 4. And you don't necessarily need your boosters to hit Aquaforce and beat them up because you have the 2 crit Vanguard, and you do have the Soul Charge, Blaster Blade, Blaster Dark, just finish your opponent off, at 22k. Definitely, yeah, it's still a really good deck. You see my tournament plays. I still play it here and there as a last resort. I really do play well with the deck, comfortable with it, but I don't have fun with it. But yeah, that's just how it works, Like, at a certain point, you have to play a deck that's fast, an aggressive deck, like Great Nature, Royal Paladins, Nova Grapplers, and then you also have to play a deck that wins, right, consistently, like Shadow Paladin, MLB, and stuff like that. So, unfortunately, MLB is still a really fast deck and a really consistent deck, and you still win games really fast. And so yeah, like, honestly, I feel kind of sick playing this deck, but you know, as we only have 6 days left, I'm fine with playing six more days of MLB, and then probably gonna never let MLB see the light of day on my account ever again. But yeah, I mean, generally speaking, the rank metagame is really fast decks, you know, control decks that can control and disable your opponent's winning image, and you know, decks that just are consistent with getting what you need. And just a side note, Shadows does that pretty well. It's just that it's slightly slower. If you don't have your Javelin, then you go through a lot more trouble, and you have to go through a lot more options, which is definitely one thing that I really like with Shadows. But something that makes people misplay often would be like, oh, when do I use the main? When do I use Blaster Dark? When do I use Car? Stuff like that. When do I use Phantom Blaster Dragon? I think this is the most important one. And definitely, you really do have to consider your options when playing the deck, which is fun. But you know, it takes time and it takes more effort. And especially since I am multitasking with work and life and school, playing MLB is definitely the easier route, and it just wins more. Unfortunately, that's the truth. But yeah, I mean, tell me how you're doing on ladder. Do check out my progress on the ranked. You know, just click ranked and see how I'm doing. Tell me how you're feeling with the decks. I know a lot of people are playing Great Nature, and they're honestly really great. A lot of people are playing Angel Feathers here and there, and I feel like Angel Feathers is pretty underrated. And I really had a change of mind seeing it in play. But yeah, I mean, tell me, you know, just comment down below 3 things. First thing is, where are you on ladder, and what's your goal for this season? Where do you want to go? How you feel about the new rank system? Second is, what deck are you playing? What deck are you comfortable with? What deck do you think is winning? What deck do you think should be represented more? And third is, which deck do you think is underrated? Which deck do you think, which deck do you think should be represented more? Which deck do you think is a sleeper pick that definitely could do well? So yeah, comment down below, let me know. Subscribe if you haven't done that yet. I really appreciate it, and hope everyone the best of luck on ladder. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.